Today we're going to learn how to use the bunny hop to jump up to back wheel. We're also going to learn how to stay on our back wheel once we get there. And maybe even more important than that, we're going to learn how to bail out so that as we progress, we can ride with confidence. In almost every scenario involving a bunny hop to back wheel, you'll have tons of room to get momentum to jump at the obstacle. And this technique is going to show you how to take advantage of that momentum. If you're still working on locking in your bunny hop, there's a link down below in the description for a video about bunny hop technique that I made a little while ago that should help you out. But even if you're just starting to figure out bunny hops, you can start applying some of the techniques we're going to talk about today. Let's dive in by talking about the bunny hop technique and the changes we're going to make to bunny hop up to back wheel. With the regular bunny hop, we're going to roll along with our weight off the back of the bike. We'll lean back to lift the front wheel up, and then we'll scoop our pedals to get the back wheel up off the ground. The next step is where things change. In a typical bunny hop, you would then push your handlebars forward to level out the bike, to flatten what you're doing, to get that height out of the bunny hop. But when you're going up to back wheel, you're going to push your handlebars up at an angle. And that angle depends a little bit on the height of the obstacle. A higher obstacle is going to be a steeper angle with your handlebars. I like to think of it like I'm aiming with my back wheel for the corner of the obstacle that I'm about to jump up to. Now, usually at this point in the tutorial, I'm teaching you how to do something on flat ground. But because we're jumping up to back wheel and we're using our back wheel to aim, and the back wheel is actually getting out in front of us a little bit, we want to have even a small obstacle to be aiming for so we can practice our aim and so we can get up onto something. If you were to practice this on flat ground, it can be a little bit more dangerous because the back wheel is getting out in front of you, and that means there's a higher chance that you can loop out and land on your back, and we certainly don't want that. So find something that's small like a curb and just work on getting up to that back wheel and getting your rear brake timing just right when you hit the back wheel. Don't worry about staying on the back wheel in this first step. Make sure there's room for your front wheel to land on the obstacle as well. Once you're comfortable jumping up to back wheel on a small obstacle, we're going to learn how to stay on the back wheel. And the way to stay on the back wheel is by using a technique called the sink. Now, the sink is awesome because not only does it keep you on your back wheel, but it helps enhance your balance on the back wheel as well. The best part about the sink is that you can practice this on flat ground. And what it is using your body weight to sink over the back wheel to hold it in place. So a good drill to do here is to jump up to back wheel, spreading your knees a little bit wide, which will help you sink down low, but also give you a wider base, which increases your balance, and try to hold that back wheel as long as you can. Now add the sink to your bunny hop to back wheel technique. When you jump up, it's going to anchor you down into that spot and give you a second to catch your bearings now that you've jumped up. But it's also a preload for the next thing that you're going to do. So once you jump up to back wheel, you'll likely do a correction hop to reset your body position and your bike now that you're up on the obstacle. And so when you go down into this sink, it actually sets you up so that when you stand up, it gives you a little extra momentum to make that correction hop on the back wheel. So it does all kinds of things. It locks your back wheel in place, it gives you more balance on the back wheel, and it tees you up for your first correction hop once you're onto the obstacle. The thing about this bunny hop to back wheel move is that to progress, you have to start riding and jumping at higher and higher and higher walls. So let me teach you how to bail out so that you can ride at those higher walls with a little bit more confidence. Honestly, bailing out on a bunny hop to back wheel is kind of fun, and it has a fun name too. It's called an abubuka. The abubuka is actually a BMX trick, and it works perfectly in this scenario. Essentially what it is you're jumping backwards off the obstacle and landing on two tires and rolling away to reset to go at it again. The abubuka is incredibly useful because instead of crashing, it allows you to stay on the bike and stay with the bike so you can reset and go at it again. The other thing is that when you come up short on a bunny hop to back wheel, typically it's because your back wheel came up just a little bit low on the corner, and that's actually the perfect setup for an abubuka. That's how you do an abubuka, is you go low on the obstacle so that you can tap the wheel and then jump back out. So this is something that you can be learning as you're learning up to back wheel. You can practice abubukas the entire time. So these skills really go hand in hand. You're gonna learn them both at the same time. To learn this technique, you're gonna get up onto your back wheel. You're gonna let your front wheel drop just a little bit, and then you're gonna yank the bars toward your chest while you use your feet to scoop the pedals. And when you scoop the pedals, you want to flatten the bike out completely so that you're moving backwards even. And then you're going to land. I usually land with my brakes off so that I can roll back out of it, but this one takes a little bit of effort. You want to make sure that you're flat when you're landing two tires. If you land your back tire first with no brakes, that can sometimes not end up well, especially if you're going backwards. So first start by jumping backwards to your back wheel, but then as you get comfortable and confident with this, you'll want to land without your brakes so you can roll back, so you can start again. You can practice the abubaca on flat ground to really get comfortable with that roll back at the end. So 2 of the 3 things we learned today can be practiced on flat ground. The last one, the bunny hop up to back wheel, we need a small obstacle to get the whole thing started. But all 3 of these techniques are going to help you out, of course, for jumping up to back wheel, but in so many other ways. You can see how these techniques start to work together to do different things, and you could see how maybe having the abubaca might help you with some other techniques. Having the sink might help you with some other techniques. So what you got today is a lot more than just bunny hopping up to back wheel. One other thing that will help you a lot with this technique is being able to bunny hop higher. And I made a video all about the bunny hop right here that will help you go higher and higher with your skills. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't have an unlimited run up, I made a video about pedaling up to back wheel, which you can check out here. Go out there, have fun, and don't forget, practice makes progress.